to all of you here this afternoon. It's so pleasing to see so many friends, family and colleagues, and I hope you have a very enjoyable afternoon. I also want to acknowledge someone very special to me who invited me to come and talk to you today, and that's Litsa really epitomises, in my eyes, she's an advocate for exemplary early childcare practice. And as you've seen today, there's a bit of a theme of children and the value of children. And I know just from colleagues at the gallery who send their children to the Greek Childcare Centre what an exceptional facility it is. The reports are always glowing. And I hope when it comes time for me to marry and have children that you'll still be there. So thank you so much, Litsa. So I'm going to talk to you about a topic that's a bit topical. It's whether picture books are still valid today in this technological world that we live in. We have seen an increase in iPads and eBooks. And it's just, it's really a thing of the times that we're living in. And I'm here to tell you that I don't have a clear answer for you today because there are a lot of advantages, obviously, to picture books. There's been a lot of research that's been done. The picture book format has been around for a long time. But more and more where there are benefits appearing of the ebook, especially for children who've got developmental delays. So I'm going to share with you some of the research that's been happening. But as Marie mentioned, I have just written my first children's book, and so I am a little bit biased towards the picture book format because to me the synergy between the well-written text and images is key in terms of helping a child comprehend meaning and story. And I'm going to demonstrate to you why I feel that is. So I've included this photo partly because it captures so well a child's first attempts at learning to spell, and also the sweet innocence of children. You know, I love Santa is what the child is trying to write, and it's humorous, but it also highlights the importance of a child learning to read and write well. And in order for a child to write well, they need access to high-quality books to read well. So as I mentioned, technology has really revolutionised education. Some interesting facts from Common Sense Media is that 72% of children under 8 have used a mobile, and 8% of children under 2 have used one. And the impact of mobiles is definitely showing in terms of children's learning. And Maggie Dent, who's a popular researcher from WA, has said that screen time has meant a 60% drop in outside play in Australia in just one generation. And that also coincides with an increase in children struggling to read. And a popular Australian author that you all know, Mem Fox, says it's heartbreaking to see kids left alone with these smart devices. The increasing reliance on technology means that it could inhibit children's ability to develop empathy and social skills. So children primarily are learning to read today through iPads, apps, and of course traditional picture books. With the first two types, a narrator usually reads the story, and children can enjoy interactive features such as animated pictures, music and sound effects, and there's usually games involved as well. But are these extra features enabling children to absorb, comprehend, and retain information as easily as their printed counterparts. The educator Stephen Abraham has done some research into eBooks and print books. He's characterised the key differences. Ones I want to highlight are really what Mem Fox had alluded to, is that the mobile device or the eBook promotes solitary learning, and what research is showing us is that children learn less when they're left to look at an eBook on their own. But when they share it with an adult, they learn more and they talk more about the story. So it's important, I guess, for devices that encourage children to read rather than just listen to the narration. They need to have the experience of reading themselves from the screen. Some other key facts that I wanted to share with you is there's been research done with families between the ages of 3 and 6, children aged 3 to 6, and what they found is that when they compare the same book in the e-book format versus the printed format, the kids comprehend the story much more clearly through the print format. The animated features in the e-book are distracting. They take children and adults away from the story. So it seems the interactive features in a book can rob children of that continuity that they require, especially as some of them like to spend more time on the games and puzzles than on the actual words. And finally, I wanted to share with you some research from Lauren Lowry in her article, eBook or Paper Book, What's Best for Young Children. She mentions that parents don't talk as much about the story and how it relates to their children's lives when sharing eBooks. Instead, they have more conversations about the buttons and games. And what young children really benefit from is when the adults have discussions with them that go beyond the pages of the book, linking aspects of the story to their personal experiences and providing explanations when necessary. And incidentally, parents automatically use more of these types of reading strategies with printed books. So you're wondering, my kids love ebooks, they're engaging, they're fun, they're interactive, so how do I choose a good one for them? And there are some, I guess, points that I'd like to share with you to keep in mind when you're looking at purchasing an ebook. First of all, I've got an example here of the Word Monsters. It's a reading app that's available at the moment. The words appear, encouraging the children to read them. Words are highlighted as the narrator reads them. And another really important feature is there's forward and backward buttons on the screen. So that helps children learn. It's similar to turning the page in a printed book, and helps them to learn to read from left to right. Then we have the vocabulary, so providing access to new words and the context in which those words appear is also important. So, one interesting finding that came up in terms of ebooks was that children with developmental delays actually are drawn to this type of medium. It helps them improve their vocabulary and word formation in ways, in a much more enhanced way than the print book. So that's something new that's come out of the research. But overall, children who read daily in print are found to have stronger reading skills. And according to Pearson Education, it's children who read for enjoyment every day not only perform better in reading tests than those who don't, but also develop a broader vocabulary, increased general knowledge, and a better understanding of other cultures. There's evidence to suggest that reading for pleasure is more likely to determine whether a child does well at school, more so than their social or economic background. And I've just included a slide here from a very popular book which you've probably read or had read by an adult yourselves, and it's Where the Wild Things Are, just to highlight that sheer pleasure of reading and that we get from a picture book. It was published in 1963 and it has sold over 19 million copies worldwide, and in 2012 it was voted the #1 picture book in a survey of school library journal readers. So the question I pose to you is, are children who are growing up with technology, are they going to form similar attachments to their apps and eBooks? It's definitely a question worth contemplating. I know growing up, one of my favourite books was The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. And 45 years on, it still captivates children. So we need to ensure that we expose children to quality content. And with the recent apps, even the best animation or the seamlessly speedy download can't save a bad story. And what you'll find with a lot of the apps is authors aren't actually writing the content. We have big companies like Disney and Nickelodeon outsourcing to writers to quickly upload these products, but the real depth and quality that a children's author invests is missing, and then the narrative then lacks. And so for the parents who are here today, there are definitely some resources out there that can help you evaluate what is a good app. One is the book Aquilizan, and the other one is Digital Storytime, which has a lot of mothers and writers reviewing apps and providing feedback on suitable apps to children. So to summarise, the best way children learn to read today is through a combined approach of both eBooks and picture books. No matter what format, children learn most when they share a book with an adult. So that bonding time is really essential. It's a special time together with an adult and a child. And it actually helps lay the groundwork for children's later social, communication and interpersonal skills. And books help children to find meaning within their own life. And on that note, I'd like to introduce to you today to the book that I've written, which is Catch That Cat. It's a bilingual book, it's in Greek and English. And the reason I wrote the book is because I wanted to nurture children's emotional connection to Greece, as well as learn some new Greek words. So the book is set on Kythera. It's obviously a place close to me. Both sets of grandparents were born there. But as Marie mentioned, I was born in Greece and I have travelled to Kythera many times, so it's a special place for me. But having said that, it could be of any Greek island because, as you know, the Greek islands have beaches, they've got ancient ruins, they've got family, and that's what really the book is about. And there's a wonderful refrain that's repeated, which is "Catch that cat," which encourages children to chime in and say those words and actually interact and be a part of the story. There's obviously geography links, which link back to the Australian curriculum. And the story feeds children's imaginations through this cherished pet that has a habit of escaping, exploring and returning home. And there's more about the story in terms of essentially it is a story about there is no place like home, you know, the roots are your home and the people, your loved ones is what home means to a child. The other protagonists are Alessa and her Yaya. And there's also a lovely link back to Greek mythology through Aphrodite, obviously the goddess, the Greek goddess of love. And I really hope that for my next book I can set it on Cyprus so I can explore that link even more. And this is Teti Solu. She's the illustrator. She's from Athens. She's highly experienced, and you'll see as I show you some of her pictures that she just gets it. She nails the picture. She knows how to capture the essence of the places. So here are some locations that are featured in the book. This is the Sunday markets at Potamo. And the yellow flowers that you see, they're called Sempre Viva, which obviously is a Spanish word which means everlasting. And the reason being is that the vibrant yellow stays that way in those flowers. Then we have Naraiga Waterfall. And it's stories of water nymphs abound in this very cold waterfall. Avlemona is a picturesque fishing village. And one of the, I guess, iconic images of Kythera is the Venetian castle, which boasts one of the best views of the island, with Gapsali Bay down below. And, of course, Panagimert Idiotisa. Every year on the 15th of August, there's a huge brass band that plays, and every man and his dog, I should say every man and his cat, come and to this festivity. So I had to include it in the book. And in case you don't know these locations, there is this guide at the back of the book that explains each of the places. So to encourage that discussion between the adult and the child. I'll be officially launching the book at the Bunny and there are two versions available, the bilingual, Greek and English, and then the English only version. So please like my Facebook page and you can find out exactly when I'll be reading the book to kids on the 23rd and 24th of May. In the children's tent, and also you'll be one of the first to be able to order a copy of the book. And there is a special promotion for the Panigiri, so I would really love to see as many of you there and to meet your children and grandchildren. And please do come up and say hello if you do come to the reading. But I'd like to leave you now with a short video about the book. As Marie mentioned, I work at the Queensland Art Gallery. I've been there for 15 years now, and I started in children's programs, and Toddler Tuesday being one of the favourite programs that I started. And I've since moved over to curriculum, where I develop resources for schools. And a few years back I worked with students from Brisbane State High School, and one of the students was Diego Aquilizan, who's here today. And Diego's made this wonderful little promotional video about the book, and I'd love to share it with you today. So it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Introducing a great new story about Aphrodite.
A curious cat with a sense of adventure. When she runs away from Yaya's house on Kythera, Aphrodite causes chaos, and no one can catch her, except Yaya, who knows that while Aphrodite belongs to Kythera, the best part of any adventure is returning home. Where does Aphrodite live?
Kythera.
Where's that?
It's a beautiful island in Greece.
Kythera is fun.
You can go swimming, hiking, and snorkeling.
Have a turn at some of the fun activities inspired by the book. Make cat ears and play Catch That Cat with friends. Create postcards to send to loved ones. Create your very own treasure map. And create beaches like the ones from Kythera.
Hi, I'm Melina Mallos, the writer of picture book Catch That Cat. Written in Greek and English, this book is set on the Greek island of Kythera, where my grandparents were born. The pictures in the book have been illustrated by artist Teti Solu. When you look at her pictures, take a look at all the fine details of the places and the characters. They're often doing interesting activities. Like my Facebook page to keep updated on events and programs. Many thanks to the Kytherian World Heritage Fund for publishing the book and wanting to share Aphrodite's story with you. It is my hope that Catch That Cat brings your children closer to their culture and community.